try and read for 24 hours. More original and more distinct to this book. So yeah, I am enjoying it a lot more. I have a very bad feeling about what's going to happen. Hello everyone, welcome back. So for today's video I'm really excited for this one but very nervous because I've never even attempted to do this before, or for a short period of time really at all, so I don't know how it's going to go, but I thought we would try and read for 24 hours this weekend. So I'm actually doing it slightly differently. I was aiming to try and do the 12 hours on Saturday, 12 hours on Sunday. However, I do have plans on Saturday evening, so it doesn't quite work. So my thought process is, it is now Friday, I'm currently on my lunch break, but when I finish work at around 5, I'm gonna set up the timer and try and hopefully read this evening for about 4 to 5 hours, minimum of 4 hours, and then do 12, no, that's not already incorrect, and then do 8 hours on Saturday so that I can still go out, and then do the following 12 on Sunday. So it's a little bit more broken up than I had originally planned, but over the weekend we will still be doing 24 hours, fingers crossed, if everything goes to plan. I've never even attempted to do anything longer than like an hour or two of reading, I feel like, so I don't know how I'm mentally going to feel, I don't know how I'm going to feel in general, but we're going to give it our best shot. So I think the first book, I don't want to say what I'm going to read first just in case, but the books on my radar I will tell you. So the books I have left on my October TBR are Immortal Dark, Starling House and A Darker Shade of Magic. So they're 3 options I may go for, but I also do want to read Diabound. I've actually got that downloaded on my Kindle because I've heard such good things about it and I just haven't got around to reading it, so I thought maybe this would be a good time, read it all in one go, see how I find it. So that one I'm leaning towards starting with because I feel like it's probably one I can easily digest. It's fantasy, I love fantasy, so I feel like it's probably a good one to start with. And then I have downloaded an audiobook as well, and the audiobook I've actually downloaded is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, I think. Hold on, it looks like this. So I actually downloaded this because I googled, well, I went on TikTok is pretty much Google at this point, and I basically just searched up good thriller audiobooks because I feel like that will keep me hooked, and this one came up quite a few times, so that's an audiobook that I've picked up because even though I'm not going to be reading for 12 hours on Saturday, I still will probably go out for a walk, and sometimes I do take my Kindle and read, so depending on how I'm enjoying a read on my Kindle, maybe I'll walk and read, or I might listen to an audiobook. But it also will help when I'm showering, you know, doing other bits and bobs over the full course of the weekend, because trying to sit and solidly just read a book for 12 hours straight, especially on Sunday, I feel like I may struggle slightly. So we've got a thriller for the audiobook. I also have Kindle Unlimited, and there's a lot of Freida McFadden books on there. She's always a good quick fast-paced read, so I might go to one of hers. But yeah, as a whole I'm just going to mood read, see what I fancy, see what is kind of calling my name at that point, because I feel like the worst thing I could do is pick exactly what books and what order I'm going to read in, because I feel like that will put me off. So that is the plan for today's video. Hopefully by Sunday we'll have read for 24 hours and we'll see how we go. But I'm actually going to go back to work now because I need to finish the rest of the day, and then when I finish is when we will start the official timer and yeah, start the first book we're going to read. So I will catch up with you. I'll catch up with you guys once I've started the timer and we've begun the readathon. So it is now 5:37 p.m. on Friday and I'm about to set the timer for our 24-hour readathon. I'm nervous, but I'm also very excited. I have Diabound ready to go. This is the first book I think I'm going to start with because I feel like it sounds like it's fast-paced, it's fantasy, I feel like I'm going to enjoy it based on what everyone said, so hoping that is the case. I've read a chapter of it, but we're now officially going to start the timer and actually solidly read for a good majority part of my Friday evening, and hopefully I will be down to about 20 hours by the time I finish reading this evening. So we have now been reading for 4 hours. We have 19 hours and 58 minutes left on the timer, but that is where I'm going to pause for today because it is now 10:30 on Friday, and if I'm being honest, I have a massive headache. Like, reading this book for 4 hours straight, my Kindle stand is getting in the way, reading this book for 4 hours straight has been fun, but like I have a headache, and obviously I think it's because I had a full day of work. So like I've gone from working a full day straight into reading with no breaks, and my brain is like, oh my god, I'm tired. I'm normally asleep at this point, and yeah, I just need to sleep. So we ended up getting to chapter 22, 39% in, so we've done pretty well. We've read 226 pages in the past 4 hours, so I'd say that's pretty good. I don't know how many pages that would be an hour, but I definitely felt myself slowing down as I got further and further in. And I have 6 hours and 20 minutes left in this book, which means if I continue reading this mainly tomorrow, I should be done with it by tomorrow, which is crazy. I don't think I've ever read a book that's like nearly 600 pages long that quickly, but you know what, this is a good way to get through some books. But as I said, I do have an audiobook downloaded because I do plan on going on a walk tomorrow and doing a few other bits. So hopefully we'll finish this book tomorrow, but we will see, because I will be relying a bit more heavily on the audiobook tomorrow and probably Sunday. But I do plan on finishing this, obviously, hopefully Saturday, if not on Sunday, 100%. Anyway, as of my enjoyment of this book, I am enjoying it. My only thing is, it is so similar to Fourth Wing. I just feel like I'm reading Fourth Wing, like, but with wolves, because it's just insanely similar. Like, I know everyone says if you like Fourth Wing you'll like this, but it feels just like the same book in a different font to me currently. There's a few tweaks, but instead of dragons there are wolves, and our main girl Meryn, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is basically been put in a situation because she's basically been forced into the situation, kind of similar to how Violet is, like, they're not the exact same circumstances, but obviously in Fourth Wing Violet is put into the Riders Quadrant against her own will, and although Meryn has signed up to be in this Direbound kind of thing and bond with these wolves, she never really signed up for that. She kind of signed up with an ulterior motive, and there's just so many similarities, like the mating system, exactly the same. The bonds between the wolves and the dragons in Fourth Wing, exactly the same. And yeah, and like I can already tell who our male lead is going to be. There's been like one kind of twist, but it wasn't anything crazy in my point of view. I was just a bit like, okay, cool, like, makes sense. But yeah, I am enjoying it. It's fun to read. It's very easy to digest. It's, yeah, a fast-paced fantasy, and it is fun. But yeah, my only thing right now is like, it just is so similar to Fourth Wing that all I can think about is Fourth Wing. Like when it came up about the mating bond, all I could think about was Fourth Wing. When it was explaining other certain things and like the trials and the training, I was like, okay, Fourth Wing. Like, all I can think about when I'm reading this. But anyway, besides that, I'm having a good time, and I'm gonna go to bed because I'm gonna get into bed and just like maybe have like 10 minutes to decompress before I sleep, because I plan to start reading tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning, because I want to get the 8 hours done as quickly as possible so that I have my afternoon and evening, because as I said, I'm going out. So my plan is to get up at 5, which I wake up at 5:45 in the week, so I feel like it's not going to be too bad, but I am normally asleep by now. I'm normally not sat there reading, which obviously takes quite a bit of brain power. So my thought process is I'm going to wake up at 5 and then aim to start reading by 5:30 latest, so I can get a good few hours in the morning, and then maybe go for a walk where I'll switch to my audiobook to have a little bit of a break, get outside, get some fresh air. But yeah, we will see how it goes. I'm tempted to go straight out because we have like an outbuilding, and there's a sofa in there, and that's where my bookshelf is actually, and I'm tempted to go out there like first thing at 5:30 so I don't end up sitting in bed and potentially falling back asleep. I feel like it might help wake me up a little bit. So that is the plan. That's how far we are into Diebound. My thoughts and opinions. I'm enjoying it, and yeah, I will catch up with you tomorrow bright and early at 5:30 when I'm probably going to be knackered, but we're getting it done. So I thought I would do my first check-in for Saturday. Obviously yesterday evening I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna go out to the outhouse so I don't fall back asleep, XYZ. That didn't happen. I woke up my alarm went off at 5. I was so tired, but I did start reading at about, I think like 5:30ish, but then it hit about 7, and oh my god, I was reading the same page. Like, I thought I'd press next page on my Kindle and I hadn't, so I was like reading the same page like twice, and I was like, what the hell? And then it kept happening, and I started to get a headache again, and I was like, oh my god, I actually can't do this. So I did go back to sleep for an hour at like 7 till like 8ish, because I was like, I just need a bit more rest, because I was like, I can't power through if I feel like this. So I did go back to sleep for an hour, but I have still been reading. So we now have 17 hours left, and I want to try read for 5 more hours of today to get this down to 12 hours for Sunday. So yeah, it's now 9:45. I've still been reading Diebound. I'm now 62% in, and I have 4 hours left. So I feel like we could finish this today. Obviously, as I said, I've got 5 hours left on the timer for today, but I will be listening to not to this audiobook, sorry, to my audiobook, because I'm probably going to go out for a walk in a bit, because I need to walk the dog, and I also just feel like I need some fresh air and just to like do something other than read, just because it's a lot on the brain. So the audiobook I have, what was it again? Listen for the Lie, I think that's what it's called. So I think I might start that now, just whilst I'm getting ready to go on the walk, and then I'll listen to it whilst walking, which will probably be for like 40 minutes or so, and then when I'm back I'll probably pick up with Diebound again, get some more reading of that done, and then yeah, we're gonna go from there. But so far we're doing okay. We're a bit behind. I kind of hoped ideally we'd only have like 4 hours left at this point, but you know what, we have 5, so that's fine. Obviously I'm out this evening, so in my head I'm like, well, as long as I only have like an hour or an hour and a half left when I get home tonight, that would be fine. But ideally, if I could get it all done and then maybe get rid of some of Sunday's time this evening, that might work. But obviously I don't know what time I'm going to be home or anything. So that is currently where we are, and I will keep you updated and let you know how I get on. Also, if you're wondering, thoughts on Diebound, pretty much the same. I feel like it kind of went a bit slowish, like the pacing kind of dropped a little bit for a few chapters, but we're now back, and actually I'm on chapter, what chapter am I on? 36, and something quite big just happened in 35, but again I wasn't shocked. I feel like I kind of thought that would be the case. So yeah, nothing's really thrown me, but still having a good time, still think it is very similar to Fourth Wing, but the thing that's happened isn't quite as Fourth Wing, so I'm like, okay, we're kind of getting slowly out of it. I feel like maybe I'm hoping it was just like the first chunk, was like copy and paste Fourth Wing in a different font, and now we're getting into like a different side and a more unique and original piece, but I cannot say, I do not know yet. So they are my current updates, and I will let you know as I go on. So I thought I would quickly do a little check-in because it is now 11:30, well just gone 11:30, and I currently have 15 hours and 25 minutes left on the timer. So I feel like we're getting there, slowly but surely. I've just been listening to Listen for the Light, the audiobook that I downloaded for this, which I basically just went for a walk, and then I've just been hoovering and just doing a little bit of tidying and washing up because I had to get a few things done, but I wanted to keep it as still reading time. So I'm now, what chapter am I on? I obviously don't know what percent I'm on, but I'm on pretty much chapter 17. So this is obviously this, I don't know if you can tell, this is the start. So we've done pretty well. I don't know how many chapters there are in total. They're very short, so yeah, there's 54 chapters. So we've still got a fair bit to go, but they are really short, which is good because I feel like they're quite quick. This book, I had no idea what it was about. Basically following a girl called Lucy who, ever since, I think she was like in her 20s, she's basically been accused of murdering her best friend, but she's obviously never been found guilty of it. When they went to a wedding when they were a lot younger, in her hometown, her friend was found murdered and she was found covered in her blood, but she basically has like amnesia, like she has no idea what happened. She is like nothing to tell anyone, but she obviously hasn't been found guilty of the murder, but everyone believes she's done it, and that happened years ago, and she moved away to LA. She's been living like a completely different life. Basically all been brought up again because there's a true crime podcast that is now like looking into her case, so they're interviewing people from the town, and they've reached out to her, and her life's basically like, it's all been brought back up, and now her grandma is having a birthday party and she's invited her back home, and she's obviously like back in town. There's the podcast guy there asking to speak to her, and she's hearing all these different people's recounts on her and what kind of like they think and all these other things. So that's kind of the way, that's kind of the premise of the book. It is interesting. I will say the audiobook, I understand why people recommend it, because every few chapters from her point of view you get like a chapter from the actual podcast that they're filming. So I feel like I definitely would recommend listening to this one because it just feels like you're listening to a true crime documentary. And yeah, it's really fun. I wouldn't say it's anything crazy. I feel like nothing's really happened yet. It's just been sort of the podcast episodes from different people's point of views of that night and of Lucy as a person and of like what they think happened, and then you've got her being back home dealing with like people treating her a certain way because they obviously believe that she murdered her best friend. And yeah, but it's been really fun. So I'm glad I picked this one as an audiobook because it's really quick. I've only got 3 hours and 51 minutes left on it. So I'm going to continue listening to this one, but I am going to pick up Diabound again very shortly. I'm quickly going to go to the shops because I need to pick up a few bits. So my plan is to listen to this audiobook as I go, get a few bits, and then once I'm back I'll probably get back into Diabound because I think I have like 4 hours left on there. And how many hours do we have left? Yeah, like 3.5 for today, so we've still got a while. So I'm thinking probably spend the next, once I'm back from the shop, spend like a few hours reading Diabound, and then I do need to shower and wash my hair and stuff, so then I will switch back to the audiobook. So we'll be bouncing in between both. I'm hoping to finish at least one of them today, probably Diabound, but I'm also not sure. I don't know if I will be able to finish either of them today, we'll see. But I would like to get at least one book off by the halfway point when we hit 12 hours, because I feel like otherwise I'm going to feel like I've not really accomplished much. But also Diabound is a very long book. It's like 550 pages or so, so not thinking about that. But that is where we currently are. Feeling okay, don't feel too tired now. I feel like the walk did a good like a good, what? I feel like the walk did me very well, and I feel like it made me feel a little bit better. I feel like when I woke up and just started immediately reading, I was like, oh my god. But now I feel a little bit more refreshed, and yeah, I'm gonna go get a few things and then get back into reading. So I thought I'd update because we actually have read for 8 hours today. It's now 6:10, so I'm literally about to go out, but I thought I'd quickly update because I'm now 86% into Diebound. I only have an hour and 26 minutes left. I'm on page 501, so we've done well. I'm definitely enjoying it more. I feel like the world building and like the way the magic system works is pretty much copy paste of Fourth Wing, but now that we've progressed past like the 40% mark, I feel there's definitely things that have happened that are more original and more distinct to this book. So yeah, I am enjoying it a lot more. I'm not going to keep rambling about it, but yeah, I've read for 8 hours today. I got to chapter, where did I get in the audiobook? I think chapter 21. So we've also got a fair bit way through the audiobook, which I am still enjoying. But yeah, I'm now going to go out. So I will be picking up reading again tomorrow, which we have 12 hours left. So we're far from done, but we have hit halfway. So small win, I will take that. So I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow, but we'll definitely be finishing Diebound. I don't know if I'm going to read more tonight. If I do, I'll set the timer again and maybe take some time off of Sunday if I want to, but I'm not too sure when I'll get back. So I'm not really going to, in my head I'm not going to, but if I come home and I'm like, oh, do you know what, I'll read a little bit, then I will be. But anyway, that is currently where we are. We are halfway through, so I will update when I'm next reading, and yeah, when we're back going through the 24-hour readathon. So we're now on 95% of Diebound and we only have half an hour left. So I'm going to power through. We still have 11 hours and 13 minutes on the timer and it's 10 AM, I was about to say PM. So I started this a lot later than I planned to today because I didn't get home until like midnight last night. So I was tired and I needed to sleep, but we're going to start. I'm going to still try and read for 12 hours today. Don't know if it's possible, but you know, we're going to try. So let's finish Diebound. Guys, I have a very bad feeling about what's going to happen. I feel like something bad's going to happen. I knew it. I'm not going to say what's happened, but something's happened and I fucking knew it. So I thought I'd quickly update because unfortunately my camera died whilst I was filming me reading Diabound. However, I did actually finish it earlier this morning and I'm going to rate it 4 stars. I will say from like 40% to the end, it definitely picked up for me. I definitely found it a lot more gripping. I did predict a lot of what happened, like all the things that were kind of a twist, I'd already kind of guessed. So it didn't really throw me, but I still had a really, really good time reading it. The first 40% was a 3-star. I will say that because of how, as I've said quite a few times, I'm not going to go into it, but anyway, because of how copy and paste it felt to Fourth Wing, it already wouldn't ever be a 5-star for me because it felt like the whole plot and what happens in the remaining 60% of it's so good that I just wish we had a bit more of an original world and world building. But anyway, that's kind of what brought it down for me. However, I still had a really good time. The ending was really good. I had loads of fun with it and I would recommend it. But yeah, you just got to get to that 40% mark and then it is really fun and exciting. But again, yeah, the twists didn't personally get me, but I can see where it would get other people. And it did still, even though I kind of like thought that was going to be the case from quite early on, I still had a good time with it and I was still like enjoying it even though I already knew, like had pieced it together in my head. Anyway, that being said, unfortunately I really don't see me completing this challenge, which is so annoying. Like, although I will say this is an attempt, it's a lot to try and read for 24 hours in 2.5 days. And I'm glad I did Friday and Saturday and I actually accomplished it in one day because we have 8 hours and, hold on, we have 8 hours. Okay, that's my Netflix. We have 8 hours and 50 minutes left. However, it is now 20 to 2. So if I was gonna read for the next 8 hours, that will be until 8 hours and 50 minutes. That will be until 10:30 and I go to bed at like 10. So I know I'm not gonna be able to do this challenge, which is, well, complete this challenge, which is heartbreaking because I really wanted to try, but I also feel like I have tried. I had plans, I made it work. I did the 2 days hours that I planned. So I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. And I'm also not going to pressure myself too much today, purely because I think I've said it in every clip or at least once in each day I've filmed, but like I've had a really bad tension headache. I've taken paracetamol, it hasn't gone. I think it's just because I'm reading so much and it's a lot. So like my head, I've just got like a throbbing ache. So I need to put my health first. So I'm like, as long as I don't feel bad, I'm going to read. I'm just going to take regular breaks because before I was just like flying through, like no break. Not even like looking at my phone. I'd put my phone on Do Not Disturb and I'd put my phone across the room and I'd be like, right, won't be looking at that for 4 hours. So I wouldn't have any kind of break, and I think that's kind of where I've gone wrong. And yeah, I ended up getting back late last night, so I'm just tired and I work tomorrow, so I don't want to just force myself into reading for the whole remaining amount of time when I don't feel great, because I'm just going to feel it on Monday, which is tomorrow obviously, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to try and read for as much as Sunday as we can. I only have an hour and, how long? An hour and 26 minutes left of the audiobook, so I'll definitely plan to finish that today. We've read one book, that will be our second that I'll complete today, and then the third I'm going to start is Starling House, which I'm really excited to read. This is on my October TBR, which is kind of why I picked this one up. I will say it's like 400 pages, so I don't think I'll be able to finish this today, but I want to get a good chunk through because yeah, it sounds like something really fun, something I like, and I feel like it's very like giving October vibes. And if you don't know what this book is about, I'll just quickly read the back for you. So it says, step into Starling House if you dare. Opal is a lot of things: orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic. Most of all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother, one that gets them both out of Eden, a town renowned for bad luck. So when Opal gets the chance to earn a good wage at Starling House, Eden's very own haunted mansion, she can't resist. Her new workspace is uncanny and full of secrets. Just like Arthur, it's brooding air. It also feels strangely, dangerously like something Opal has never had, a home. As sinister forces converge on Eden, Opal realises she might finally have found a reason to stick around, but now she'll have to fight for it. So it just sounds like a really cool, spooky, maybe gothic-y kind of book, which I love. So that is what I'm about to start reading. I'm in my outhouse, so I was just, ugh. So I've moved to my outhouse because I feel like I need to just be in a different space, because I think I've read pretty much the whole time in my room, and apart from audiobook when I've been walking and doing stuff, but other than that, I primarily just read in my room, and I feel like I need a different, what am I thinking of? Just like a different environment, which might help. So I've got the ambience on my TV, which I will show you, and I've got a heated blanket, so I'm going to put that on, I think. Just get cozy, read with this book, and not pressure myself, not stress about the timer, just read and have a good time, because I really don't want a headache. And I feel like at the minute, I feel like it has to be that I'm reading so much in such a short space of time, because when I'm doing other things, I don't have a headache, but the minute I sit down and try to read, my brain is like, no, like, so that is the update. And yeah, hopefully we will still make some good progress. I'd like to hopefully read for like at least 4 to 5 hours the rest of today, but again, I'm not pressuring myself. I'm trying not to anyway. But this is perfect because it's actually also raining outside, so I can like lightly hear the rain on the ceiling in here, and I can lightly hear like my ambience. So I've got like all my perfect favourite things. So let's get reading. So it is now, what time is it? 5:10, and I've only read for about, I think like 2 hours. We now have 7 hours left, and I did finish the audiobook of Listen for the Lie, I think, or Listen for the Lie, I think it's called. Yeah, I ended up finishing the audiobook whilst doing some colouring on my iPad because I just couldn't read. I literally got to chapter 3 in Starling House, which is good, I'm enjoying it, but my head, every time I go to read, my head just really hurts. So as I said, I'm not going to force myself into reading if I don't feel good. So I was like, let me just finish the audiobook at least, so I have that done. So I finished that and I rated it a 2.5. It just wasn't my favourite type of thriller. I like thrillers where there's quite a big twist, where you're kind of not sure what's going to happen. And even though I guess there was a certain twist at the end, the whole book up into like the twist, which was probably about chapter 50 out of 54 or 55, I think there were, pretty much was just like plain sailing. Like there was nothing, things were happening within the podcast episodes where like who you think killed the friend, Sabina, I think it was Sabina, yeah, you jump from like who you thought it was, but other than that, nothing really got me. And even the whole reveal of who actually did it and the whole like piecing it all together felt a bit flat for me. So yeah, it was a 2.5. I enjoyed it. It's a good thing to listen to, but it just wasn't my kind of thriller. So I just thought like 2.5, that's the middle ground. It was okay. And I feel like, yeah, that's probably the best rating I can give it. So now I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I think I'm gonna probably go back upstairs now into my room because I've been out here for quite a while and I feel like I just wanna go chill in my room and hopefully read a little bit more of Starling House, but again, I'm not putting pressure on it. So we will just see how I go. I don't expect to make massive progress. I feel like because I've read so much over the last 2 days, I'm like, I don't really have the urge to read as much. So that's kind of where we're at. I don't think I'll be finishing that. I think finishing this, sorry. But yeah, do you know what? It's an attempt. I've had fun. I finished 2 books. That's fine. And maybe if I do this again, I will definitely be better prepared. But yeah, we will see. So I thought I'd quickly check in because it is now 8:15 on Sunday evening. Ignore the state of me. I just went for a walk and got absolutely drenched. So not the smartest idea I've ever had. And I brought an umbrella and it wouldn't go up. So let's not talk about that. Anyway, I have 7 hours left on the timer. However, I am going to call it a day with this challenge because I just can't read anything else. Like every time I try, my brain just immediately starts to hurt and shuts down. So I, just for my own like physical health, I've decided just to stop. So I didn't accomplish reading 24 hours, which is really, really annoying, but I did read for 17 hours. So I feel like that's kind of a win, and I read 2 books. So yeah, I feel like I probably could have done more, but it just wasn't working with how tired I was and how much my head hurt. Like every single time, it just really threw me off. So due to that, I'm going to end today's video here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've ever attempted to do 24-hour readathon, or if you think you will. I now hold anyone that accomplishes them at a much higher regard than I did previously, because I was not aware of how difficult it is and how hard it is on your brain. So I really envy, and just, yeah, well done to anyone that can do that, because right now I can't. I definitely will probably attempt to do this again, but just not anytime soon. Maybe at some point, just not anytime soon. And I'm quite excited to go back to reading just at my own pace and without the pressure of a timer. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and yeah, hopefully I will see you again in the next one.